friends, it's Sin. I'm back to do another review of Married at First Sight season 11. This one is for episode 15. Pack your bags, ho. All right, it's called Pack Your Bags, but whatever. Okay, so we are at the point in this show where, we're snoozing off. I can't wait for decision day. This episode, the episode where they meet up with their friends and their family and they discuss how their marriages are going, is always the most boring episode of the season. Sure, a few things happen, so I'm gonna discuss, get a little recap and review. But listen, if some people didn't watch the episode, it's because this is the boring one. It's the one I usually want to skip because it's a little pointless. They should combine this with the retreat episode if they don't have much going on in the retreat. But let's discuss what's happening anyway. So we're going to start off with Christina and Henry. Hot mess, always a hot mess. So the episode starts with all the couples leaving the retreat, having a good old time. Everyone but Olivia and Brett, who already broke up. So we got Amani and Woody dancing in the car, having a good time. Deadeye Karen and Miles still dancing, having a good time. And Amelia and Bennett having a good time dancing in their car. They get to Christina and Henry in their car, and they is just sitting there looking awkward as always. So we know how it's going. Thanks for setting us up for how this relationship is always, right? Lifetime. Basically, not much is going on. Christina and Henry, are discussing things with their friends. So Christina goes and speaks with her friend, some older guy, and she just talks about how they speak different languages and she doesn't know how they're going to be together, blah, blah, blah. How she's a good person and she's not ugly, and she's pretty and she's fun and not needy. Her friend look at her like, girl, you definitely needy. But that's really it with her discussion. Then Henry discusses with his friend, aka the one who's secretly in love with him. He discusses how things just basically aren't going good with Christina. And his friend is like, look, to the camera, she's like, Christina a liar and they don't belong together. It's been obvious from the beginning. She's a liar, they don't belong. All true. So we do find out from Henry that not only did Christina tell him she got that text that a guy said that he was having an affair with Henry, she basically has been holding this over his head like blackmail. She told him, listen, I'll release the text and all the images, blah, blah, but I won't if you be on camera and you back me up, make me look good is basically what she's saying. And Henry's like, I can't even explain how trash that is, but the girl's trash. So we know Henry is just done with Christina. So then they go out. They go to this restaurant. It's completely empty. Did Lifetime pay for it to be empty? Is Henry rolling the dough and play for it to be empty? Play for it. Pay for it to be empty? I'm not sure, but the restaurant's empty and they're in there. And Christina is just being delusional and annoying and trying to look good for the camera. But girl, we already know what happened. Henry already told us. There's no need to be acting like this. She's just like, yeah, and I just feel like, the journey and, how things are going. I really don't know what the girl's saying because I'm just sitting there like, girl, can we stop playing? We know who you are. We know you be playing around, Christina, you trying to look up for the camera. I was like, not listening to her most of the time. Then she asked Henry to, say things about her that he likes. And he mentions that she's a good writer, and the girl starts breaking down crying. Y'all, I'm tired of her cries. Now I've realized that she just cries on cue, or she needs therapy. I'm not really sure, probably both. But I'm like, girl, nobody care about your crying. All he said was that you were a good writer. Can you stop? And Henry's just sitting there looking at her like, what the F is happening right now? We don't want to be together. And she out here crying in this empty restaurant like we about to really pick each other on decision day. Christina, stop. Please stop it. It's ridiculous. Then they get back home and Christina's like, I felt like I had a clear decision, but now I think that I need more time. And then Henry talks to the camera. He like, I don't need no more time. Like, no, I don't want to be with her. She's a liar. She's rude. She over here spreading lies that I have a affair with some man and I ain't tell nobody. He like, girl, no, there's no time. But if you want to be delusional, do that. When we get to decision day, I'm still saying no. This cracks me up. But that is it with them because, this episode ain't got much going Woody and Amani, per usual. They are looking really cute, adorable. Amani here just looking fly whole episode. And basically, they just discuss what would make them say no. They did this last episode, but Woody says, you know, he wouldn't want Amani to just switch up on him and just act like a different person. Besides that, they do meet up with, you know, friends and family. Amani meets up with her friend, and she says, you know, that she is happy in her marriage, but she does see one issue, that Woody has issues listening. He needs to listen properly, and that would be basically the biggest thing. And then Woody meets up with his grandmother and discusses how this turned out really well. He is happy. And his grandmother gives him advice, and she actually says, to have a long-lasting marriage, he needs to listen, because men don't know how to listen. I was like, come on, Grandma. Grandmas be knowing. She is telling him exactly the advice he needs if Amani has problems with him listening. He needs to take his grandmother and Amani's advice and just listen more, you know? Don't talk so quickly before you listen to what someone says. But I really think they are going to be fine. Then they go to dinner, and they're out eating, and Woody actually starts professing his love again for Amani, saying how he really didn't think when he got into this marriage, or just Married at First Sight as a whole, that he was going to find love. He wanted to be open to love, but he just didn't think that was possible, and he really has found it, and he's so happy to be with her and that he loves her. And I was like, oh, this is so sweet. It was really cute. He crying, adorable. Amani just kept saying, oh, that's so sweet. I felt like she could have said more as a response, but I have a feeling that Lifetime is actually editing this and like doing cuts so that it seems like Amani is way more unsure about Woody. I feel like they're doing that because they want some suspense, but like, we don't need to do that. So that's really it with them. Besides, it's the night before decision day, I believe. And they're just discussing their decisions again. And Amani says, like, what if I did say no? Like, why would you think I said that? And Woody said, probably because of me not listening. But then he does say that if she said no, he wouldn't be able to listen to any explanation, proving her right. And that he would just be flipping tables or whatever. And Amani's like, boy, stop it. But basically, I really think what Woody means is how close they are. They're supposed to be in love. They want to be together. That if she wouldn't tell him off camera before that she wanted to say no, I feel like that would make him flip out. Also, they're supposed to be in love. I feel like it's the not knowing that you could have at least gave somebody a heads up. I think that's what he's trying to say. That's why he wouldn't listen. I don't think he's trying to say he's not listening to her at all. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one, because I do think that's what he actually means. But that's it. They're cute. They're gonna be together. Then it's Amelia and Bennett. So they're meeting up with their friends and fam per the episode. And Bennett meets up with his friends. I remember one of the name is Thaddeus. And Thaddeus is getting upset. So Bennett's just basically like, yeah, I'm gonna move to Virginia and spend most of the time there and about 4 or 5 months in New Orleans because I want to take this leap of faith and be with this woman that I love. And his friend is just like, I don't want you getting hurt. Are you sure you should be doing this? You know, I just want everything to turn out okay. He is looking serious and hurt. That man like he about to cry. He is so worried for Bennett that this just isn't gonna turn out right. And he's just like, so when you're in Virginia, she's gonna be working all the time, and she gonna come back home and see you. You're gonna be like a dog waiting at home. She's gonna take you for a walk when you get out. I'm like, well, dang. He can't do stuff for his own. He doesn't have to stay in the house. Even if he freaking just goes to the park, goes to the movies alone, I don't care what he does. He don't have to sit at home like a dog. I was like, woo, gosh, reel it in a little bit, friend. Reel it in. His friends and family are taking it very personally that he is leaving them. I can understand that because they want him around, but dang, that is. Reel it in. Then Amelia, in Amelia fashion, talks to a witch / tarot reader over Skype, whatever, video chat. And the witch tarot reader woman, I know, why am I calling her full name? But she basically says that Bennett is a good person. He is steady. He's not someone she should be worrying about. But she does have to worry about her own fears and how overthinking could mess up their relationship. I think that this was good advice, and I honestly believe this lady. I think she was actually good at reading her tarots. I don't think she was a fraud like Brenna's sister. But the witch lady didn't even get to freaking finish giving her reading because her camera cut off, and we don't even know what happened after that. That was a mess. But Amelia continues talking to her friends, and she tells them that she had this really scary dream that Bennett kept blowing up and getting bigger and bigger, and he was turning into this huge cucumber. And then all of her friends were like, "Oh, I want a cucumber sandwich, cucumber sandwich." So she cut up all the cucumbers, made a sandwich, and when she was about to bite it and eat it, she could hear Bennett saying, "No, it's me." And she said it was really scary, and she didn't know what it meant. I honestly think it actually means, not that I'm like a dream interpreter, but I feel like it means her having him move for her, and it's such this big decision where his whole life is kind of going to be around her, because everything he knows and understands in New Orleans, I feel like there's a lot of pressure on her, and she feels like she's taking over him. I think that's what the eating part is. Like, if her eating him and him saying, "No, it's me," I feel like she thinks this decision and him going with her might be too much, like her just taking over his life, and I think the pressure of that is a lot for her. Yeah, that's why I think he blows up and she's chopping him up, like, oh, taking all the pieces of him away. But that's just my interpretation, you know? Who really knows what it means? But the biggest thing with Amelia and Bennett is they had their last night, hanging out, eating dinner, being quirky. Amelia's wearing a crown, looking crazy. And Amelia says that she really got on Married at First Sight to have the experience of being on a reality TV show. And Bennett clearly looks hurt. He is looking like, "Girl, what?" And I'm like, "Girl, what?" Listen, I don't care if that was her initial intention. Girl, you never had to mention that. Just keep that to yourself, you know? Save that in the drafts of your mind. Nobody had to know that. No one. You're hurting the man's feelings. We didn't have to know all of this. If now your intentions are to be with him, don't bring it up. Like, that sounds terrible, but like, no, you didn't have to tell him. Girl, what are you doing? And then she makes it worse. Amelia is just like, just digging a deeper hole. Because she says, like, yeah, I knew that it would be a good experience. I didn't even really think they would pick me. She's like, and I know I would get along with anyone, even if they married me to a snowman. Lady, you really want to tell your husband, who you're supposed to be in love with, that you could have been married to a snowman and the marriage would have been nice? So that basically y'all love don't mean nothing? Amelia, just shut up. Just shut up. Stop talking. I was just sitting there like, oh my God. Bennett looking like sad in the corner. I'm like, girl, could you not read what's happening here? Are you not paying attention to the feelings? Next time, she needs to keep information like this to herself. Seriously. That was interesting because I didn't think that's what she came on the show for. And then later on she says, yeah, it's going to be interesting when we have no cameras around, and I'm not going to feel like a movie star anymore. Girl, I've actually never heard anyone mention how they're not excited for the cameras to leave. Most people are happy for them to leave so they can see what the relationship is like when it's not being documented, if it's going to last. Olivia, that's not her name. Amelia, I'm going to need her to get it together. Seriously, because girl, no. One, you shouldn't have mentioned it. Two, get your life together. Are you in love with him? Are you in love with TV? I need to know. A mess. Then it is Karen and Miles. Basically, they start talking about Decision Day, and Miles says that he's excited for Decision Day, and I'm like, of course he's excited. He don't want to be married to Karen no more. That is what he's definitely saying. I'm excited. I don't gotta be in this affectionless marriage no more. I get some affection to make a love up on me. So that's definitely what he is excited to do. But Miles meets up with his friend and he discusses, his affectionless, intimateless marriage. And he's just, telling him things that were turning points for him. And he says at one point, Karen had clothes in a chair and Miles was sitting on a couch which had space for her to sit at. She went and grabbed her food and sat on the edge of the chair with clothes in it instead of sitting next to him. And he was just like, dag, like, you don't want to be around me that much? I know that's terrible, and I bet that really hurt his feelings. So that was probably the point when he said, yeah, she could be my friend, but I'm not going to stay with her. It's not going to happen. So you can definitely see that he's tired of not getting any affection in his marriage. He is. Then Karen meets up with her friends and they're just, she's discussing their relationship, and her friend actually says to the camera, she's like, I think Karen is giving her all. I don't think that's enough for Miles, though. It's not enough. She can't give him what he wants. She can't give him that love and affection. And I'm like, you're right, friend. You're insightful, because it's true. Besides that, Karen is just like, yeah, I need a man with masculine energy. I need him to put me in my place. Girl, what? People still say this. I don't want them to put me in my place. What? I know my own place. I can put myself wherever I want to put myself. Nobody's going to tell me what I'm going to be doing. But you know what? Girl, whatever. She's like, yeah, he needs to be able to lead and put me in my place. And, I need that type of energy. What? What is that energy? That sounds a little toxic to me. If somebody says like the whole masculine protection, like, oh, I want somebody that I can feel like is going to protect me. I want somebody that I know is going to provide for me. That I don't see anything wrong with. Sure, you want them to protect and provide for you? Of course, that's good. But the whole put you in your place? What? Girl, no. But you know what? That's your business. And we know you come from a toxic relationship, so I'm tired of commenting on her in this masculine business, because I don't really care. That's really it. She meets up with Miles again, and they really have a discussion, and she really brings up again that she needs to be put in her place. She's like, respectfully. Girl, you don't know. You don't even know if you want it to be respectful or not, because you don't even know what you want. And that, to be provided for and cared for. She says those two, but she wants to be put in her place and be led, is what she says. And Miles is just like, okay, I'm a man, and I know that I can be a provider and lead. I don't think he offered to put people in their place thing, but he's like, I could be a provider and I could lead, but I also want to be able to be myself. I don't want to have to put on this ultra toxic masculine thing just so that you could want me. He doesn't say that exactly, but that's what he's getting at. He basically tells her he needs love and affection and wants to be wanted by someone. He wants to be wanted and cared for. And what this conversation shows is that they don't belong together. That's it. They don't belong together. Why are we doing it? Then they actually touch on Olivia and Brett. Why are they here? They're already broken up. This is pointless. But Olivia and Brett are freaking just discussing things. And Brett's friend, which I think was interesting, says that Brett has issues bending. He thinks his point is always correct, and he really hopes that Brett got some empathy out of this, because even in his friendships, Brett doesn't know how to be empathetic or bend or try to listen. So I thought that was interesting. His friend said that. He said it in a very nice way, but he really did try to say, like, Brett has things to learn. In this experience, I hope it taught him that, because if not, he ain't gonna find nobody. And yeah, Amelia, that's not her name, keep confusing them. And Olivia just was like, yeah, it didn't work out. She just wants somebody to love her. Blah, blah. Nobody cares about them. Now, let's discuss who I think is gonna stay together, who is going to say no and yes on decision day. I basically have said it multiple times, but start off with Christina and Henry. Even though Christina is doing all of this, I'm a good person and we should think about this. Girl, stop. Nobody believes you. They're both gonna say no. The end. And then Woody and Amani, they're trying to make it suspenseful, but Woody and Amani are both gonna say yes. Then we have Amelia and Bennett. Even with this recent news of her love of reality TV, I still think Bennett and Amelia will both say yes. Then we are on to Karen and Miles. They are both gonna say no. I don't care how much talking they do. They're not made for each other. They're gonna both say no. Brett and Olivia already said no, and they're gonna say no again. I don't know why they're gonna bring them to the couch, but that's what's gonna happen. So basically, only two couples are gonna say yes, and it's gonna be Amelia and Bennett and Woody and Amani. Way different from what I assumed on the first episode, but this is my predictions for Decision Day. But that is really it for my recap and review of Married at First Sight, Season 11, Episode 15, Pack Your Bags. I'm going to do a early review for Decision Day. I know I usually get my reviews on Saturday or Sunday for the show, because I've been doing too much with my life. But because Decision Day is so important, I'm going to watch the show early, like I should, and then I'm going to get a review up earlier than Saturday or Sunday. Hopefully Thursday. We'll see. We'll see how I can work my life out. But I'll see y'all in my next one. Thanks for watching me ramble. Bye.